Hello, I'm EnterElysium, and I am in Mini Metro. Now I have an admission to make. I'm addicted to Mini Metro. Mini Metro is a game about running your own subway system, I guess. It's basically a strategy game, but a very simple strategy game. And I don't mean simple in the way like, it's dumbed down. I mean in the way that it's a simple concept, but it can get very tricky at points. And it has the most simple and kind of beautiful UI. It really is nice, and it actually works across platforms, because this is a game that's coming out for both iOS, Android, and PC, I believe. And I didn't think until after I played it, actually, this is probably on Android too. It's not one of these games that you go, oh, it's been ported from mobile. It just works on all of them. So if we go into the options menu really quick, you can see we have, resolution, blah, 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 language, night mode, killable mode. And here we go, audio. You can see it's grayed out. There isn't any audio in this game, as you can probably tell. Currently, there isn't any sound going on. Audio is still being worked on. This is an early access title on Steam, so, as per usual, the whole early access thing applies. It is early access. It is not finished yet. It will be finished at some point in the future. There is, in fact, a free demo of this on their website. However, their free demo on their website is a much older version. The UI isn't quite as polished, and it only features the first level. Let's go back a bit. As you can see, if we go into play, there are 3 modes. Unfortunately, we only have Classic because, as I say, early access. And we have 3 levels over here. There are another 5. 5? Yeah, 5 that are not complete yet. However, if we go all the way back to London, we have 3 here. You can see my top score on this is 1156. I have played this for a couple of hours. I did stream it a little bit earlier when I first investigating it, and I must admit I got a little bit addicted. It's a very fun game, and I must admit, it's not just me. Also Socks, my cat, is, pretty addicted to it. You'll see, right? Let's go play. And I'm travel sick. Ugh, right, okay. Okay, here you can see, we have pause. That's the menu. Close the menu. Such a clean... Wow, I just love it. It's such a clean UI. If we open this up, you can see we've got a few options. We have locomotive, we have carriage, and some colours. And these are grey. And this is a tunnel. So what we do? Well, we've got to get... These are different stations. Circle station, square station, triangle station. And we have to get people who show up at each of them to the other one. So I'm going to just drag... And I have made... a train. You can see here with this little rectangle hidden behind the station, that is actually our train, and it will go along the route we've made. And you see it goes through the river, so that's actually a tunnel under the river there. If I unpause it, you'll see what I mean. So, passenger, there we go. Here we go, you see this. This triangle, is a passenger. He's waiting for a train. Or she. Or it. Or they. I don't know. But it's a passenger waiting for a train. Triangle means they want to get to a triangle station. Boop. Same with, circles, and same with squares. And there will be more shapes. It gets more complicated. Oh, it gets more complicated. But, of course, currently, it will only be the 3 different types. Of course, circles never show up at circles, squares never show up at squares, and triangles never at triangles, because they're already there. So, as you see, he comes down here, a little train picks up that, and goes on. Boop, and we get... 1 person. So we have ourselves 1 passenger delivered. It is Tuesday. At the end of the week, we'll get more stuff. So, sorry. We have another station. It's a triangle. I'm going to make this join up. Now, you can always go like this and go, there we go. Now we're joining all of them. But I don't really see the point in doubling up. So I'm going to pull this back, and we are going to go like that. Now, the job of this person is... This train, is to take people to the triangle from the circle, or from the triangle to the circle, or from the triangle to the circle where they will stop, get an extra train to take them to a square. Make sense? Because if a person here wants a square, they'll be taken there. Now, here we have an extra train station. Now, of course, it's another circle. We could just, of course, go da-da-da-da, but there'll be no point, because, think about it. If someone here is a triangle or a square, and your train goes over here, they go, nope, we're going to a circle next. Or if there was someone here who wanted something, No, we're going to a circle next. It just takes extra long, so it's just not as efficient. What we will do, however, is do this. Done. Now we've used up, as you can see, our 3 different routes. We have 1 tunnel left, by the way. You can just notice that there. 1 tunnel left. You have a limited number of tunnels. You have a limited number of trains, a limited number of carriages. We haven't got any carriages yet. Each locomotive comes equipped with 1 carriage, but you can put more on them. And you get a limited number of lines. We have our 3 out of 3. You can, of course, unlock 4 more as you go on. Now we're halfway through the week, and we have ourselves another circle. Now I'm thinking we put the circle on the end of the yellow. I know we've already got a yellow circle on the yellow, but we've got a circle on everyone. And ultimately, it doesn't cost us a tunnel because we are already this side of the river, and the circles are at the end. So that circle's going to be like, oh, I've got a triangle or a square. Well, they're going to be equipped. I've got a triangle or square. It's fine because they're at the end of the road. But, as it gets more complicated, it becomes a bit more of an issue. And it really gets into this. There is a tactic here, and there's strategy, and I haven't worked it out entirely. Here we go. Watch this. Triangle gets picked up. Triangle gets taken over here. Triangle gets out, and it's now waiting for a train, and they'll pick up the yellow train to be taken there. Now, we've got to put this triangle on. I'm thinking we put it onto the blue. It does cost us... Ooh, that's not good. 2. Was it 1? No, it just counts as 1 because it's 1 length of what's it called? Rail. So there we go. We'll put him on, and that way now they are covering 1 entire set of 3. Now we'll get more shapes, and it'll get a lot more complicated when you get more shapes. Trust me, it gets more complicated. But this, its very heart, is the basics of the game, and as you can see, it's very simple, and the UI is very simple. Of course, we will extend that just like we have with the yellow. And the UI is incredibly simple. See, I'm just clicking and dragging to extend. Ultimately, if by the way you want to get rid of something in the middle, let me see, can I do it with this? There we go. Just dragged out. Drag back. If you want to go up to, there we go. Connect to an extra station. Whoop. Oh no, I want to get rid of that. See, it's connected now. Get rid of it. Just drag back and then drag away. Simple. It's a very simple system, and the UI works for it. I adore it. I like simple UIs. I've got a thing about UIs, and normally it's me banging on about how a UI is awful and how a game really just kind of the UI lets it down. But actually, this UI just works. It really is something that does its job and doesn't get more complicated than it needs to be, which is great. It really is great. And as you can see, of course, well, here, I guess, there is, of course, no sound currently. Of course, it is being worked on. It is, of course, early access. Right, there is a locomotive. Woo! Week 2, we've received a locomotive. You receive a locomotive at the end of every week. And now you get a choice between a carriage and a tunnel. And sometimes it'll be between a line and a tunnel, or possibly a line and a carriage. I don't know. We could do with tunnels, but then again, well, we don't need to buy any more tunnels unless we get another line. So I'm going to go over a carriage. And I'm actually just going to plonk down the carriage just for you to see. Okay. Boop. There you go. You can see, obviously, like you'd expect, an extra carriage. Same with locomotive. I'll put the extra locomotive down. Boop. Now, of course, I wouldn't actually do that if I was playing proper, because I'd actually be waiting to see where the problems were, and I'd probably have a much bigger setup. Ah, and here we go. Our first new shape. A wedge. Fairly rare, the wedge. Now, there is 2 things we could do. We could either extend this one, but then that would mean everyone everywhere else who wasn't on the red line, the red line's a fairly small line, would have to get off to get onto the red line to get there, which would mean a change in train. And that's not great. The alternative, of course, is to do something more complicated, like that. And then again, if you have someone on the red line who wants to get onto the wedge, less likely because the red line covers only 1 unique station. They'd have to get off, they'd have to get off there, they'd have to get off there, and then they'd have to travel there, which means 2 changes. Alternatively, you can do this and double up. And I find, like, we're using the wedge as a nexus, a big changeover point, it's a big hub station. That's actually really useful, because it's such a rare destination that people will actually want to go there, won't want to have to jump through too many trains because it'll get weird and you'll end up overloading something. Whereas, people want to go to circles. There's circles on so many tracks. You're not overloading a specific changeover. We're currently using a square here as a nexus and a circle here as a nexus. Now, the circle here as a nexus is something we could change. Circles are, well, they're pretty boring. They're very common. I hate circles. I really do. I think I said it several times in the live stream that I did when I was discovering this. I hate circles. I am shapist. Circles suck. They're so common. They're awful. Now, I'm actually not going to just play through the entire game. I will probably do some sort of let's play or video on this at some point because it is incredibly addictive. Incredibly addictive. But I will skip ahead now to the end of a game I played earlier. Now, as you can see, we have a lot more in the way of train tracks and a lot more tracks and a lot of different shaped stations and people wanting to go everywhere, and it's getting a bit manic, as you can see. I've redesigned a few things. I've even put some lines into loops, and as you can see, a couple of the stations are full to bursting. Now, you can see around that station in the middle of the screen that it has a weird grey circle that's filling up around it. When that circle fills up to full, we lose the game. And it could be on any station. And this happens when a station overflows. And you see, we've just lost the game. And that is because we did not manage to serve all the people there. The station was overcrowded. Now, the station becomes overcrowded. You can see that there were a number of people waiting to get on, and that past a certain amount, I can't remember what it is, it's like 6 or 8 now. There are a couple of people who are slightly lower down and grey. That shows that that's past its limit, that it's overcrowded. And of course, that grey circle appears and starts to fill in. And once it fills in, bam, you're screwed. Honestly, it is a simple concept. It's a very simple game. It's £5 on Steam, something similar in dollars. There is a free demo on their website. It's not quite as far along as this. Of course, it only has the one level, and the UI isn't quite as polished. But it works, and it is beautiful, and I love the UI. And it's such a simple concept, yet it really does. It takes a bit more brain power than the concept first appears to. I love it, and I'm thoroughly addicted to it for such a simple game. Games normally take, I don't know, about 35 to 40 minutes for me. I don't know, maybe about 35 minutes, but then again, I'm not very good, so they could take longer. It's good. It is good. There is nothing more I can say about it. I really enjoy it, and if it's something you might enjoy, then I don't know, go try out the demo, or just go get it on Steam. It's in early access, so it's a good way to support it. Yeah. I would definitely recommend. If this looks, even amusingly addicting to you, it's fairly cheap, it's on Steam. And of course, if you don't actually want it on Steam, you want to get it on a web device when it comes out, a mobile device like, an iPhone or an iPad or an Android phone of some description, then you can when it comes out for them. I've been EnterElysium, and this has been Mini Metro. Links to both the Steam version and their website for the demo are below. I thoroughly recommend. I'm an addict. I have a problem. My problem is subway trains, apparently. If you've liked the video and it's been helpful to you, then, I guess you can like as well. And if you are not subscribed and you want to see more of me getting addicted to video games that are weirdly colourful and nice, then yeah, I guess subscribe. Anyway, I've been EnterElysium, and stay shiny.